Well, Tim's here again with Cable Country, and tonight you begin a special two-part series on the 20th anniversary of the filming of the movie Dirty Dancing.
Right, Bob. Now, in these two segments, Joe Tennis from the Bristol Herald-Courier and I visit the two places where the movie was filmed 20 years later. Part 2 will be Monday night at Mountain Lake, Virginia. Tonight, Part 1, a journey to Lake Lure, North Carolina. It lures a lot of folks to Lake Lure.
The movie Dirty Dancing.
And they're fascinated with it.
The picturesque North Carolina town has taken on an identity as the place where Dirty Dancing was filmed 20 years ago. It's the #1 question visitors have.
Where can we go to visit the site of Dirty Dancing?
Every day, somebody says, okay, so where was Dirty Dancing filmed?
So that's every day still?
Still.
Oh, probably every other person that comes around.
All ages ask about it. Young kids, older people, everyone wants to know where Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Judy usually refers curious tourists to the Lake Lure boat tour.
I've been doing tours on the lake since '99.
Skipper Steve Berger will show you the spot.
The left-hand side over here is where they did all the water scenes for the movie Dirty Dancing. And that whole area in here was originally a boys' camp years ago.
Not much left of the filming site these days except for rocky ruins. Oh, those famous steps are still here. During filming, the cast and crew stayed here at the Lake Lure Inn.
We have the Swayze Suite and the Jennifer Grey Suite for the rooms that they stayed in, and they're two of our most popular rooms. In addition, we also have 2 cabins out back that are named Baby's Bungalow and Johnny's Cabin.
This golf scene was shot at the Lake Lure Golf Resort at Fairfield Mountains.
This is the hole. This is the place Baby asked Dad for the money.
Could you lend me $250?
I remember that we didn't really know who some of those character actors were. They were very much a part of our community. Certainly when I see it now, I know the areas where Dirty Dancing was filmed, and it makes it even more special for us.
The memories are very special for Edith Bond. She was an extra in the movie.
My sister said they were desperate. They must have been desperate if they were asking me.
Edith appeared in the final dance scene.
It was fun. It was a learning experience, but the cast, they were very gracious. The people couldn't have been nicer.
The time of my life.
But was it the time of her life?
It was one of the times of my life, but it was not, no, it was not the time of my life.
Interestingly, 20 years later, there's still a bit of a local debate about how much of the movie was filmed here.
Probably less than 10%. It's my understanding that the majority of the movie was filmed up at Mountain Lake.
The vast majority of it was filmed here in Lake Lure. Oh gosh, I would say 90% of it.
But there's no debating what it's done for this town.
I don't think when the film was filmed, anyone expected it to have that kind of impact.
I think it brought attention to the area that probably we would not have had.
I did have one woman come in here, and her statement was, it was the best movie I've ever seen.
For more on Dirty Dancing's 20th, read the first of a series of articles by Joe Tennis beginning in Sunday's edition of the Bristol Herald-Courier. In Cable Country in Lake Lure, North Carolina, Tim Cable, News Channel 11.
Well, Tim dances in with Cable Country tonight. Not a pretty sight, let me tell you. It's part 2 of your series on the 20th anniversary of the filming of Dirty Dancing.
Right, Robert. In part 1 last Thursday, we went to Lake Lure. Now in part 2, we hit the road to the other filming location for the movie, Majestic Mountain Lake, Virginia.
That was the summer we went to Kellerman's.
And 20 summers later, after the movie, on top of the world, atop Salt Pond Mountain, the Mountain Lake Hotel still stands.
I think it's a great feeling to see the movie and see the pictures of the hotel. It was probably more filmed at Lake Lure than here, but the big deal was that most of the things you recognize in the movie are here. The cottage, the lake, the gazebo, the area when they did the trying on the wigs and whatever out on the lawn. And now the interior of the dining room was here.
It's the big event. People bring their own arrangements. You don't want to miss it. Oh, baby, I need you for props.
In an interesting twist, Mountain Lake became a Dirty Dancing partner by coincidence.
They had already booked Lake Lure to make the movie. Mountain Lake wasn't even a part of it. And they were flying back to New York from North Carolina, and they were on Piedmont Airlines in those days. And Mountain Lake had an advertisement in Pace magazine. And they saw a picture of Mountain Lake, and they said, "This looks more like a Catskills." So they called and came back and then arranged to come here. So that ad paid for itself a few times over.
Now, just for purposes of comparison, here's the scene early in the movie where Baby skips across the lawn from their cabin over to the main house. And here it is recreated. We're going from Baby then to the old cable country man now. And here's more comparison clips for you, from Jake Hausman sitting in the gazebo to me. From Johnny Castle's '57 Chevy to the cable country car driving through the archway tunnel in back of the hotel. Mountain Lake movie memories dance around everywhere here.
The big thing I remember most was that I hardly knew who Patrick, well, I didn't know who Patrick Swayze was, and I certainly didn't know Jennifer Grey.
Buzz's first day on the job at the hotel was just a couple of days after Swayze signed this guest registry used by the cast and crew.
Of course, they were only here for about 3 weeks. Then they moved on to Lake Lure.
I was here during several of the days when the filming was taking place.
Virginia Tech biologist Bruce Parker was studying the lake then, along with many of his graduate students.
My brother was up here too, and of course he provided a classic Thunderbird plus himself for the original shooting, and he's very proud of that.
Local residents and extras were proud and thrilled when the movie was released.
When the first showing came in Blacksburg, in the Lyric Theater, we packed the theater full. And you could hear voices throughout the showing saying, "There I am, look, there I am." I never expected that Dirty Dancing would become that popular.
It is amazing. I don't think anybody could ever thought it would still be around now and getting ready to celebrate the 20th anniversary. It is hard to tell how much business comes from that movie. I mean, no matter what we put in the gift shop, if we put Dirty Dancing on it, it'll sell. It's almost like a cult following. Nobody puts Baby in the corner.
For more on Mountain Lake, pick up a copy of Thursday morning's edition of the Bristol Herald-Courier and read Joe Tennis's article in the Empire section. In Cable Country near Pembroke, Virginia, Tim Cable, News Channel 11.